And my first speaker, and our first speaker is Asif Zeynalov, CEO and Chairman of the Board at GL Group, and I invite you for your perspective.
Thank you, Patrick. Can you hear me there? Can you guys hear me at the back? Good, thanks. So thank you, Patrick, and thanks for having us here. It's great to be here on a stage in front of all of you, and I want to say thank you to the organizer. It's a great event, as always, very well organized. This forum proved to me, once again, that our industry is very big, and it's very small at the same time. Today in this room, I see a lot of friends and colleagues who I know for many years, and we've been working in different parts of the world many years ago. I know some of you even for more than 20 years. So it's great to see you all, and great to be here. So today I want to talk a little bit about energy security. I'll be sharing with you today our perspective. So we are not national oil company, and we are not one of the majors. We are basically operating in Azerbaijan currently. Five companies, and we are, a mid-sized company in Azerbaijan. The strategy is to grow and expand. We're currently looking at different jurisdictions and different opportunities outside of Azerbaijan and in Azerbaijan. Our perspective, the way we perceive the world, is a little bit different from what others can see it, and I'm going to share our view on energy security and associated significant risks from GL's perspective. So definition of energy security, we heard this many times today. It's access to continuous, reliable, and affordable source of energy. It doesn't specify oil or gas, nitrogen, or solar. It's energy. When we look today at statistics, there is plenty that suggests that the world cannot continue to use the same systems that it's been using for many hundreds of years, dominated by oil and gas and coal. In fact, there is a lot of evidence that huge investments are happening today, taking place around the world, investing in green energy, in safer energy. So the world is moving towards reduced carbon future. But at the same time, I'm going to share with you a couple of slides here. They are simple slides, but showing that in reality, the world today is using more oil and gas than before pandemic, and this all has been accelerated by geopolitical events around the world. From our perspective, the energy companies, they must understand the demand and supply. They need to understand the risks and opportunities, and find the right balance in the way we transition from fossil into the greener energy. In current circumstances, from GL's perspective, again, we see three significant risks to the energy security. One of them is production decline in existing fields. Second would be reduced investments in fossil fuel. The banks and financial institutions today, they are more prone to invest in reduced carbon future rather than in fossil. And number three would be prematurely ceasing operations in brown fields, which basically can lead to deficiencies in the fuel mix going forward. Interestingly enough, in 2019, when we started our company, GL, we were literally knocking on the doors and asking for opportunities for farm-ins, for joint ventures, partnership. Today, the hopper list that we have in front of us is quite long. Let alone the exploration blocks, but 1P, 2P reserve opportunities, development opportunities with 40%, 50% return on investment with 4-5 years payback time with high NPV. It's just amazing, and what a great economics. But these people, they struggle to raise funds, and these are for sale. I mean, good environment for companies like ours, but reality is it does raise some questions. And the question that we have, will one day the world be at the stage where the supply of energy will not meet the global demand because of the shortages of investments in fossil fuels? And where renewable energy, greener energy, simply will manage to cover that shortage, that gap. The shortage may or will eventually lead to the high oil and gas price and market instability and potentially even worse events. According to the International Energy Agency, since 2019, the investments in oil and gas have been dropped almost by 30%, which are like hundreds of billions and more. So given that context, I firmly believe that we should not walk away from oil and gas in a radical way. This rather be in a balanced way. And in reality, we should support oil and gas industry, the system, to make sure that there will be something that the industry can lean on. This can be a very good anchor for us to lean on while transitioning into the safer energy. That'll be me, Patrick.
Well, thank you for that perspective. You mentioned that you do see a risk, or actually happening, of reduced investments in oil and gas. From a perspective in Azerbaijan, do you believe that investors, local ones, foreign ones, do have the proper ingredients to continue making the investments that are needed?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I honestly believe that Azerbaijan has all the ingredients for investors to come and invest. Azerbaijan, provides a stable business environment. Azerbaijan being a very reliable partner over the decades to Europe and to the world, and provided, energy and always kept its role. Beyond significant oil and gas reserves, both onshore and offshore, and gross potential, Azerbaijan also offers some other advantages. Things like it has export pipeline systems that can take oil and gas, takes oil and gas to the open seas and to the European market. So for investors, when it comes to the investment decisions, one of the ingredients they look at is monetization. So having this infrastructure and pipelines in place is just a winner. It's great. The middle corridor, the shortest railway from China to Europe, that ensures procurement, supply chain management. Installed infrastructure, it eliminates a lot of capital expenditures, which basically invites not only majors in country, but smaller players and mid-sized companies. There are a lot of ongoing projects in Azerbaijan. We heard a lot today about major projects in greener energy, which is quite promising. Newly liberated areas. That's an ocean of opportunities for investors. So in a short, Patrick, I personally think that Azerbaijan has all the ingredients for not only majors, but small size and mid-sized companies to come and invest and run successful business.
And speaking of smaller companies, GL Group is a young company, 5 years old, right? You still have a strong track record so far, with a significant focus on oil and gas in the current business. Now, we are talking a lot about green energy transition. What would be your view as to the business portfolio mix for your company, for GL Group? Do you expect a mix in the near and mid and long-term future, or will your focus remain on oil and gas for now?
Okay, that's a brilliant question. So, our strength of our company is brownfields. All of our experience, giving second life to the old fields. That's what we've been doing, a lot in our career. That's where our strength basically is. But given the age and the size of the company today, we cannot go to, after the low margin business. We better focus on what is important. We can't do a number of businesses, in a different places at the same time. So we have to be very careful in how we approach that. But at the same time, we all recognize that the world is changing, and expectations from companies also changing. So in order to be aligned with the, green agenda, what we do, we heavily invest in health, safety, and environment. We take care of the Mother Earth. We're cleaning a lot the polluted areas around our operations. We today invest a lot into our facilities, fixing their integrity, implementing the strategy of zero oil spill and no gas releases. So there is a lot happening that we do, operating our current facilities and concentrating on running them in a very safe and environmentally friendly place. But at the same time, we are expanding, and our agenda is to become one of the regional players. And when I say regional players, we mean Middle East, North Africa, and those jurisdictions. So we will be looking at this going forward. That's out of question. I mean, it's inevitable. Once we're ready financially and we have right capabilities to diversify the systems in which we invest, absolutely by all means, we will.